This is Brownie's Podcast!
Hey, degenerates, welcome to Brownie's Podcast. No Campbell, he's gone on a drinking trip to watch the Ashes, but if we can't have Campbell Brown, who wants a little bit of a Mal injection?
Mal. We want Mal Brown. Have you got
Well,
him?
we just wanted to ask you if you've spoken to your son at all.
No, I haven't. And can you go and get fucked and get out of my life and out of my property and ring up and make a time like every other that's got any manners, okay?
Thank you.
It's like a stiff shot of whiskey, isn't it, every time?
It should be. Is that his voice machine? Is that his answering machine?
Someone needs to do a hip-hop remix of that whole thing. Beck's in the studio, Brody's in the studio, Jonathan Brown is in Melbourne. It's good to see your face.
Great to see my face.
Your munted face.
We just saw that. We just had a little FaceTime with my wife, Kylie Brown, who was on the way to pick up Jackie Brown, my son, from school, Dino.
Yeah.
And what were the words she used? Something about a baby.
No, I don't think we should take this to the podcast.
I go, really? We're not going there.
Well, I think your son will be furious with you.
Yeah, not well. He's apparently he's bought a fake baby, so I'm not sure he's been watching Child's Play. Is it little Chucky?
He wants a fake baby, and why?
He wants a brother. And unfortunately, Carl's hasn't been able to deliver a brother for him, so he's not happy about that. And you go, why? What are you going to do with this brother?
But brother, instead of a fake baby, why not just bring a mate over to the house? Why does he need a fake baby is my question.
Well, he wants to go and talk to it. He wants to look after it.
We're getting into creepy territory.
Kylie did throw it out. Does he want me to breastfeed it? So getting real creepy at the moment. So I'm glad that I'm in Melbourne, Dino.
Also, isn't he about 12? Like, isn't this something that happens when you're about 5 years
yeah,
old or
we
something?
can't- we
Seems
can't
really old to be doing this.
We can't shame the kid too much, but it is. Beck, what do you think about this?
Playing with dolls at 12? I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know if he's playing with dolls.
No, this is a whole new thing. He wants an infant baby to be his friend.
Yeah, and to be his brother.
His brother.
Yeah,
Because you can't provide him one. You.
Yeah, I've been disappointing over the journey. I've only delivered him 2 sisters, which he riles at.
Yeah.
The girls had a sleepover on the weekend. They had a few mates over, and apparently Jackie Brown resembled Josh Carr and Ryan Crowley rolled into one. It was the greatest annoying tagger of all time. Sisters were blowing up about. But anyway, that was my weekend.
Real quick, what's happening with the Ashes? I heard it's getting spicy.
This Bazball has been crazy.
What the
Everyone's Bazball.
I'm sick of that word, and I don't know what it is. Just tell me what it is.
I thought, Dino, that it was a new cricket ball that they use in the Ashes.
I thought it was like a style of bowling.
It's a style of batting.
What?
It's a style of batting,
Brody,
isn't it?
It's essentially revolutionised the game of cricket. So
Get your hand off it.
what was cricket was very traditional, as in like very defensive, and that you might make 35 runs off 200 deliveries or something, really, and just sit there and leave heaps. They play it like a 20-20. They go out there and swing at absolutely everything.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
For example, the first delivery of an Ashes series is usually something that you leave or it's like very difficult to face. It was smashed through the covers for 4. It was a brilliant shot by the Poms, and it's changed Test cricket forever.
Baseball sounds sick then. I love it.
It's exciting. It has revolutionised the game, no doubt. And some of the field placings, too, when they're actually bowling. Crazy, wild field
like
placings.
so aggressive and stuff like that.
Why the dumb name? Why specifically Bazball?
Because Baz is the coach, Brendan McCullum, who was a New Zealand cricket champion, and he's the coach, and he's introduced this style of play, and it's changed the England side. They used to be very mediocre only a couple
and
of years ago.
conservative as well.
Yeah.
Like most Poms, conservative.
Right, okay, now, and another thing, didn't someone blow up at someone? It's getting like full bitchy over there. Anyone know anything about that?
Moeen Ali, the spinner, the English spinner, he was fined 25% of his match fee for using cream on the ball. Now, he's an off spinner.
Cheat.
Cheat. You said it, Dino.
Cheat.
But I'll say it as well. He's cheating. Cheating. How can you only get 25% match fee when our blokes, when they pulled it, admittedly it was sandpaper, but they were suspended, they were dragged through the mud here in Australia. Steve Smith and Dave Warner, Moeen Ali, 25% of your match fee.
Moisturiser is a little different to sandpaper. I'd say they're in different
I wouldn't
leagues.
have thought so.
Why is cricket...
Mate, moisturiser used to work beautifully back in my bowling days in Warrnambool.
Oh, suck it.
What's with all the horseplay in cricket, all the little tricks, all the little cheating manoeuvres? It makes me think how much shit they would have got away with in the 70s, 80s and 90s.
Well, it makes you think a lot of shit they get away with, Dino, but it just hasn't been caught.
Correct, John.
I don't think it's the first time that we've used sandpaper or anyone else has used sandpaper.
I've got a mate that plays for the Stars and used to play for the Bushrangers.
Yes.
And they said they would do, when Sandpaper Gate happened, they would do stuff all the time with like spikes on the bottom of the shoe, chew redskins. They would absolutely, I shouldn't say manipulate the ball. But yeah, they would do this all the time. And he said the fact they got caught is ridiculous.
You need to be very careful about this, Brody,
Yeah,
because this is inside the statute of limitation. Now, we went with the Turak hedge burner as a former AFL player, but I know that I'm safe with that, knowing
Hold
it
up.
happened 20 years ago.
I wasn't going to bring up the Turak hedge burner again, but you've opened the door and here it is. More questions.
Yes.
We narrowed it down. By the way, the Turek hedge burner was a psychopath that went around burning rich people's hedges around 2010?
No, I think the turn of the century.
Right.
Yes, a long time ago, 20-odd years ago.
And it's someone you know, and someone that was part of the Thailand 7 that got ejected. What?
No, not part of the Thailand 7.
Who was
the
it?
Bangkok 7. No, I can't say who it was.
It was one of your teammates.
I know defamation claims.
One more question. How old was this person when they were committing arson?
Between the age of 15 and 25.
Okay.
And there was two people.
And
So,
you know who they were, Jonathan?
Absolutely, I know they were.
Did they play in defence, the forward line, or the midfield? Can you say that?
All I know is they were accomplished footballers. Very, very accomplished household name footballers.
Arsonists.
So this is the equivalent of like Nick Dacos and Sam Draper running around and started burning hedges in Turak.
Yeah, man.
That's wild.
And also, if they're near 25, that's weird, John. I get a 15-year-old doing it because it's like horseplay.
Yeah.
I used to burn shit. I used to set fire to wheelie bins. Not that proud of it now, but it was a fun thing to do.
That's a good thing to do.
If you're 25 doing that, that's strange, man.
Did you ever put horse shit or dog shit on the doorstep of a neighbour
Course I did.
and light it up, and then they come out and they've got to stomp on it?
That's
a good
entry
idea.
level.
See, we used to get a trolley from like Coles or Woolworths
Yes.
or something, and you'd walk around and take the pamphlets that people leave in their letterboxes
Yeah.
and whatnot, and you'd fill it up till it was almost full. Take that trolley
Yeah.
to the park, roll it out in the middle of the field,
Yes.
light it with an accelerant, and then just watch it burn and then run away.
Interesting thing
classic
about
fun.
those green bins, I heard, when you light them up, when they're done, they're just a green puddle on the ground.
Yeah, they are.
It's
Well, they're
like when
plastic.
it's like when the Wicked Witch burns on Dorothy film. What am I thinking of?
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Great. Hey, I just want to quickly... well, actually, we should move on because you've just outed a mate for cheating, a current cricketer in Australia that cheats. Openly cheats.
He said it happens all the time. I wouldn't say it was him. He's a bowler, but it says it happens in every league, and particularly the one just under international
I
representation.
would love to have a guest, Dino, but I don't know any domestic cricketers at the moment. I'm out of names.
It sounds like we're ratting on a lot of people on this podcast, but I want to get to the bottom of this hedge burner shit. And I tell you what, Jonathan, we're going to name them by the end of this year, I swear to God.
Okay, Beck.
Beck,
how
our
is-
social media genius, you went to we forget that your age, and you are how old?
23.
By far the youngest person in this room, and Jonathan and I were fascinated to hear you say you went to a house party on the weekend.
Do you have red solo cups? Like, is there a lot of red cups around?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go wrong with the red solo cups.
And what's the go-to drink?
Well, at the moment it's a 196. So
Oh, yeah, the Centauri.
Okay.
What is that,
Centaurs.
Brady?
It's kind of like a Japanese spirit. It almost tastes like a
Yeah.
little bit like a lemon rusky, I guess you could say.
Light in calories as well, so it's good for the
Yeah.
physique. So,
And what else? What are the kids drinking?
oh, my mate bought a whole box of red raspberry cruisers.
Jonathan, a whole box.
A whole box.
Your friends must be rich.
I know,
Dude,
23.
That's unbelievable.
Who's throwing that cash around? A whole carton of cruisers.
I tell you, someone that wish they had been there and not
Yes,
over in England.
yes.
It's our man Brown Dog.
He loves the cruiser.
He loves a cruiser, loves a sweet drink.
And that's not us going, oh, you like cruisers. That's just an honest fact.
what
He
he does.
loves cruisers, bro.
As four people that have pretty much retired from house parties, and Browny, Campbell, Dino, and myself, the next one that you have in Melbourne, can we come? Can you bring along the work colleagues?
shit.
Wouldn't we love just to turn an old house party on its head?
Oh, yeah. We'd be freaks, but can we come and be freaks?
Absolutely.
Can I bring my own microphone? Because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
very fond of a karaoke.
Yes, he
A
is.
little bit of Neil Diamond late in the night. I know the kiddies will love that.
Love it.
Yeah, karaoke night for sure. Get you in, get Dino in.
Cut one
Finally.
away.
Yes, finally. No.
No, not cut one away.
Finally. Real quickly, the boxing, Kostya Tszyu's son. What's his name? Tim Tszyu?
Tim Tszyu.
Your mate, you know him.
I met him the other night and I got to interview him. He's a little fella.
Yeah.
But geez, he packs a punch
What
like
happened?
Carlos Ocampo he fought yesterday. Knocked him out a minute into the first round.
No shit.
I was tossing up asking the boys at Fox, the bosses,
Yeah.
can I fly back up to the Gold Coast to watch Tim Tszyu? Very glad I didn't, Dino.
My God.
All over 1 minute in.
That's annoying, right? Is it annoying?
But in fairness, it's like putting you or I, Dino, into the ring with a professional, and the guy had no right to be in there, and he puts his hands up, and it was just an absolute onslaught for a minute 30, and then he was knocked out.
Well, he's got a huge fight against Jamal Charlo in October over in the States, which is Jallo's one of the best fighters in the world. So there's no way known they were going to put him against a competitive, decent fighter as a little warm-up bout. They put him against a taxi driver or a bus driver, and that's the result that we would have expected.
So just a lamb to the slaughter, pretty much.
You know how there's this trend of exhibition boxing matches and YouTube stars getting into legit
Yeah,
fights and
I know.
making millions of dollars, like the Paul brothers have made millions of dollars out of their boxing. Floyd Mayweather's done another one with John Gotti III. Now, if that name rings a bell, that is the grandson of gangster John Gotti, like one of the biggest crime families to have ever lived, right?
Of the Gambino family.
Man!
Can he actually throw them, though, Gotti Jr.?
Yeah, he's an MMA fighter. He's had a bit of success, and he's 2-0 in boxing. But this one, they both got disqualified, and there was a brawl. Like, it was absolute chaos. So what is Mayweather? Why is he doing this? Obviously cash. But it just descended into a Jerry Springer type scenario. And then after it, Nicole Gotti, granddaughter of John Gotti, threatened his f***ing family.
Really?
Yes!
Didn't see this.
Mayweather's doing these dumb fights, and a legit crime family is threatening him, Brody.
Yeah, and they've put out, legitimately, again, it's been reported by the American papers, that they've put a hit out on Floyd Mayweather. Like a legitimate hit.
Imagine how much the hit had cost, though.
Yes.
The hit on Floyd Mayweather.
Mate.
How much?
Oh, 25 mil.
But I'm pretty sure Floyd Mayweather's worth like close to $1 billion.
Yeah, man.
He's probably worth more than the whole crime family put together.
He must be struggling for cash, though. Going against these YouTubers.
But I think it's about that he wants to remain in the limelight and that he can't let go of the former star athlete that he was. A bit like you, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
Just hanging
exactly
on.
like Brad.
Yeah.
But Nicole, one more thing, Nicole Gotti, she's getting like, there's a tinge of racism with her tweet. She's calling all his family zoo animals.
Oh, really?
It's getting nasty. Just why would you do this, Floyd? Anyway, hey, big round of footy. And what round was it, Jonathan?
14.
This is the round that was. Bow. Port are properly good. They're properly good. And do you know who's even more properly good? Pal Pepper.
Oh, isn't he just a beautiful man?
Pal Pepper slots a trundle goal on the run from the boundary. Did that touch the post?
Dino,
not.
I've got a great stat for you, Dino.
Pal Pepper.
Sam Pal Pepper. S-double-P. Is
Pal
that what
Pepper.
they call him? SPP?
No.
I've got a great stat for
Beck,
you.
it's fun to say Pal Pepper.
Pal Pepper.
Pal Pepper.
He only had 13 disposals on Thursday night.
Yes.
Yet he was the highest rated player on the ground.
Jesus.
So he doesn't need to touch it to bring value to his team.
Port are mad dogs. They're attacking mad dogs. And his last goal, he shrugged off that Guthrie kid like he was a rogue piece of toilet paper on the bottom of his shoe.
I've been a Port Adelaide fan since the very beginning.
All right.
I've followed them my entire
Congrats.
life, and
Well
we've
done.
won one premiership in 2004. We beat Jonathan comprehensively, and then we had
Thanks
another
for
one in
reminding me.
2000. Yeah, that's right. We had another one in 2007. We played in the grand final, got beaten
What's
by
your point?
How much
over
you get
100
beaten?
points.
Yep.
This, and I stand by this,
Yes.
is the greatest we have ever been in our life.
That's big, mate.
In the
Must
club's
be
history,
exciting.
this is the greatest we've ever been.
No one saw it coming. And they played Collingwood in a month. When you first played Collingwood, you hadn't discovered your mojo yet. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't have the horn yet. We've
Didn't
got
have
the
the
horn
horn.
now.
Do you think Koshy, your president's being too pig-headed by saying, no, we won't make a decision on Ken Hinkley's contract until August?
Yes, well, we said, I think, at the beginning of the season that we would renegotiate and have a chat about it in August. I think to bring it forward now would show the club to be weak.
Oh, weak. You're
Bullshit.
kidding, aren't you, mate? They're clearly playing for Ken Hinkley. He's a good coach. He's
No
been there
shit.
for a long time. Wouldn't you just re-sign him now? Otherwise, if Gold Coast gets a little bit shaky, they might reach out to Kenny. Kenny's been assistant coach up there.
Hey, Koshy, you're playing with fire and you think you're God, but you're not, brother.
Leave your ego at the door. I agree
Koshy.
with you, Dino.
I've always supported Kenny. You guys know that. I've had his back. Even when last year we were 0-5, I always had his back.
No.
Do you want a medal for that?
No, he has not.
He hasn't.
He has not. He's got revisionist history. He wanted Kenny gone. He was burning effigies of Kenny
Yeah.
in the town square at Port Adelaide. Take those words back, Brody.
You remember when Eddie started to feel like Eddie was just in it for him and playing God?
No, yeah.
This is how it all started. It starts like this, Koshy. You start with the team, and then what next, Koshy?
Well, he's bored. He left Sunrise, so he's got nothing else to do. So
Exactly.
he's like, I'll just manipulate the footy club.
There's only so many drugs him and the cash cow can do.
Exactly right. Get off the
You
gear.
know? You know?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. A lot of commentators over the weekend were saying this about people having shots at goal. Oh, he got too close to the man on the mark. And that's when their kicks go pear-shaped, John.
Yes.
Here's my question. How dumb are they to get too close to the man on the mark? It's a matter of distance, and you just don't get close to them.
Dino.
Yes, John.
Cardinal sin in football when you're having a set shot at goal, getting too close to the man on the mark.
Is it the person on the mark with them? So, like, pretending that the mark is somewhere else? You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes it is, but that's your job as a kicker, as
Correct.
a professional, Dino, to know where the mark is. And even though that person might be yelling out, your mum wears pink army boots
Yes.
or something like that,
Yes.
you can't let them put you off.
And what's the best way to know where the actual mark is, John?
Well, go to the umpire, get back to the top of the mark.
Yes.
Pull your socks up.
Yes.
Pull your jocks up.
Yes.
Pull your shorts up. And then you say to the umpire, where's the mark?
You son of a bitch.
And the umpire will come back in and he'll stand on it and he'll point to it.
Is it that hard?
It's not that hard.
For crying out loud.
I've got one little suggestion. Like I always see it where people are, the opposition team standing on the line and it only passes by, a few centimetres, right? What's to stop the opposition team who are trying to obviously touch the ball before it goes across the line?
From doing a totem pole?
Yeah, to do like a cheerleading type throw in the air of
I think
the
it's
lightest
illegal.
player.
I think it's
Can you
illegal,
do that?
John.
I think it may be illegal. I think you're not allowed to boost the teammate up in the air.
Yeah.
You're definitely not allowed to jump on the goal post like
Yeah.
Dane Rampy did from Sydney a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
that's all right.
I think it's
That was
illegal, brother.
ridiculous. Okay.
So you're seeing something like a scene from Bring It On.
Yeah,
When the
100%.
goal's
Throw them into
on
the
the
air.
goal
And then,
line.
mate, imagine how hard they can get and touch the ball.
Also,
takes
welcome
so long.
Bring It On to the podcast.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
the great films. Beck, fan of Bring It On?
Never seen it.
Oh, bring it on.
What? Go.
It's
That's
cold
your
in
homework.
here. There must be some
You
tiles
must
in
watch
the
Bring It On.
atmosphere.
That's your homework for the next podcast.
Very
Back
strong.
to the round that was. Carlton and Vossi let off a giant pressure valve with that win against the Gold Coast.
Amazing, almost a record from centre bounce scores. They're on fire. Cripper, Sammy Walsh, great to see. I'm glad for my mate Vossi. They
Yeah.
can just sit there and marinate in it over the bye weekend. Although the bye weekend might have come at a bad time for them. They might have just found their mojo.
Gold Coast are pretty shithouse. Maybe it's got something to do with their awful jumper and logo that they need to change. For the love of God, do they have anyone that designs things up there? Did you see the Owies goal? Owies socketed a goal in slow motion
Yeah, it was
through
bad.
the legs of two lumbering morons.
Matt
for the goal.
Andrew and then pass
Oh
someone else.
my
It was
God.
bad.
He nuts them. You know what a
Missed it.
nutsing is?
No.
It's when you kick
Nutmeg.
a ball through,
Through the legs.
but two sets of legs.
That's
how.
a good effort.
Apparently Gold Coast missed their flight too, my operative at the airport said, so not good for them, the poor bastards. All right, a couple of proper speckies for the round. Max King and Nat Fife flew, but either could have been mark of the round until Waitman for the Doggies did a goddamn 360 specky, John.
How good was Waitman? That was great to see. He kicked 6 goals.
Waitman specky could have been the best mark for the round if it
Loved
wasn't
it.
for Cam Rayner.
Cam Rayner was awesome.
What
100th game.
what number is he?
Number 16.
Ah, yes, do that funny saying you say about number 16 and something.
Number 16 in your program, but number 1 in your hearts.
Did he have to ask you for that number, John?
No, he didn't. I was very glad to hand it over because he's the number 1 draft pick, and now he gets his name up on the locker for perpetuity.
And it was his 100th game on the weekend.
Yeah, 100th game was good. That's why. That's exactly why I said he's getting his name in the locker. Switch your ears on you,
He's
you
been,
dodo.
he's been a bit disappointing so far in his career.
Whatever, mate.
I'll go out and I'll
he
leave.
has not.
He
He's a
has.
player.
Shut
He'll
up.
find his-
He has.
He sat on 3 men like they were a shonky non-council approved decking, and then they all collapsed. It was unbelievable. West Coast continued their push for the flag. Oh my God! And finally, the Trent Cotchin milestone.
300.
That photo of him and his girls was truly beautiful. Have you seen it?
I think one of them is a boy. A young boy, so
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
because we made the mistake of saying the girls post game, and he goes, "Yeah, one of them's a boy," but that's okay.
It's okay.
Beautiful images after the game when they chairlifted him off, but also chairlifted the kids off as well.
that was good.
And that's where we made the mistake. Say chairlifted the girls off.
So you did that live on telly.
Just a bit of research from the Fox Footy team wouldn't kill
Who
you.
did
you know?
it specifically? Who was it, John?
I think it may have been Gary Lane. I loved it. Hey, what do we think about the bye weekend?
Dog shit.
4 weekends of bye weekends. I'm going to toss up a theory. Is this just an excuse to have less games for a 4-week period so all the AFL executives can go on the European vacation?
Probably, man.
It's absolutely atrocious. I hate waiting on a Saturday till the first game to be at 4:40 or something. That is absolutely not okay. Do it over 2. 8 teams get... Well, how many teams? 9 teams get it off in the first week, and 9 teams get off in the second week.
Here's another thing.
Be done with it.
Why in the bye round are there Thursday night games? When there's more games in a normal round, put a Thursday game in forever. I like Thursday games.
I was certainly regretting it on Saturday afternoon when we had a window and Dad was in town. I thought I'll take Pop Izzer out for a game of golf.
Oh, a relaxing game of golf.
Relaxing game of golf. And then, about 3 holes in, I heard the familiar sound of a club whipping the golf bag. When he was spraying them left, right and centre. I said, Dad, any chance we could hit it in the straight line? Okay? The hole's not to your, 90 degrees right or 90 degrees left.
Yeah.
Let's go in a straight line.
Now, your old man's, to me, is a calm, centred individual. But what sort of colourful language was coming out
Not
of
on
him?
Saturday afternoon. A few F-bombs. It's fair to say if the podcast editors were in charge, it would have been a full beep fest.
All right.
Anyway, here's Pang. He's on the phone. He's calling us.
Pang's calling us. We got Pang news. Don't move. Back in a second.
This is Brownie's Podcast.
Welcome back to Brownie's Podcast. And now our dear friend is hosting the Logies. Let's call up Pangman.
Hello.
Son of a bitch.
Is that the man that's on the front page of Stella Magazine yesterday?
Oh!
Listen, I thought this was going to be friendly.
Yeah, it is. Hey, how many times have you heard the goddamn phrase night of nights?
It's not enough, in my opinion. Not enough.
Hey, is it true that you turned down an interview with Sunrise to have this chat on Brownie's podcast?
Listen, I wanted to keep my powder dry. You know that in terms of, I talked to the head of publicity at Channel 7 and the Logies. They had a big strategy in place, and the best thing they said, for reach at an international level, because of course, your podcast is available around the world. They said, go with Brownie's podcast.
Same listenership, so it's all good. As Sunrise.
We feel very fortunate, Sam. We're very excited.
Yeah, Broads is here.
Broads.
Say hello to
Hello,
you,
great man.
This is unbelievable. The gang's back together.
We're so excited, and it's unusual knowing you as well as we do that when we did look at Stella Magazine yesterday, and it's been spoken about the promotional value that you're bringing to the table, I was mightily surprised to see you on the front cover. And, a very interesting article looking throughout. You look very sharp in your black tie, the penguin suit, but I was very interested because knowing full well you do like to control things, and you would have had a lot of direction. Yes, there is. I'd like to know, considering that you insisted on the front cover and also doing the headline, I was surprised at the headline, Can Sam Pang save the Logies?
Jesus.
Yeah, that was. Well, that's not. Well, the short answer is no. The sensible answer is, of course, it doesn't need saving, Jonathan, does it? It's Australian television's Night of Nights, and I'm very privileged to be representing everyone in terms of being involved in a night where we celebrate the industry, and I'm very lucky to be a part of it. You, by the way, it's a miracle that you're a part of it.
Correct, John.
That's the sheltered workshop that Fox Sports is and Fox Footy, so you've got a job for life. But I'm not. Yeah, the Stella was slightly mortifying, as you know me pretty well. But then again, I was a bit flat because they didn't use the nudes.
Yeah, that would have been good. I'm interested to know about. I suppose there's been a varying amount of hosts over the journey. No host since Shane Bourne in 2011. But are you expecting the outcome to go like a Graham Kennedy or a Daryl Summers, or maybe even a Bert Newton, or a Wendy Harmer, sort of Gretel Colleen sort of outcome?
Gretel Colleen, Sam. Did you hear that?
Gretel Colleen? Really? I didn't know she had 2 names. I worked out the part we've worked together for 7 years. When you're in interviewing style, Brownie, you really straighten up, don't you? There's full sentences, and there's not just grunts and all that sort of stuff. So you're very. I just wanted to acknowledge that, because you and I don't think we've ever really interviewed each other, have we?
No, but the question is, do you feel the pressure? Because the last couple have been burning train wrecks.
John, wise man said to me once, pressure is a privilege.
Oh,
exactly. Hey,
who was that wise man?
It was Andrew O'Keefe. I excited.
Hey, Pang, how many?
Something you would have heard, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Privileges of pressure.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Wait, I'm going to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
How many Logies is the bounce expected to win?
Well, I think the nominations are out today, Dino. It's been nominated 75 times. There's only about 25 categories.
Hey, you know in Back to the Future where Marty McFly gets the almanac, meaning that he can place bets knowing the result?
I like that.
For the first time in my life, I was Marty McFly because we knew Pang was hosting the Logies, and there was a market out on it, right?
To host?
Yeah, man, he was paying $5.
There would have been a maximum bet, though.
What do you mean? What would it have been, do you reckon?
Well, it might have been $50 maximum bet. You couldn't add half your house on it.
Also, that's considered insider trading.
Yeah. I think Brownie's right. So I think I was the favourite.
$5.
Or what? Yeah, you could have got some good odds on me, but yeah, I think you can't just load up.
Oh, God damn it.
There's been a lot of discussion because you are the favourite to win the gold Logie, but now being the host, that would take you out of the equation, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm pretty sure the nominations are out today, and look, I don't think I'm not nominated for a gold Logie, John.
Wait, is that 100% right, or are you saying you think you're not nominated for a gold Logie?
The nominations are out today. Like, they might be out now.
Brody is paying up for a gold Logie. That would be wild. He'd have to come from backstage to collect it, John.
Now, in the meantime, while Brody looks, have you got a big team behind you, Sam?
I've got an army of writers. Unfortunately, they all write for Sunrise, so I don't know how good they're going to be. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that opening monologue. I think I don't say there's a bit of pressure on it, but you play in grand finals, Brownie. You want to get off to a good start.
People are
in the first quarter.
People are expecting you to put bullets in people, and I think you could confidently say that there'll be some bullets flying around the room.
Yeah, well, in amongst my song and dance numbers, I think there'll be. Because, I'm going to come out strong, Brownie. I know you love Billy Crystal.
I love Billy Crystal. Crystal. No, Billy Crystal, he is a fantastic host. He's the best from the Oscars. And you are our Logies version of Billy Crystal, no doubt about it. I'll give you one bit of advice on the auto cue. If you do decide to use the auto cue, stick with it the whole way through, because often I sat beside Jared Healy on the couch on a Monday night, and he would do the auto cue, but then halfway through just decided to ad-lib things a little bit, Pang, and would completely then butcher the second half of the auto cue.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm quite like a natural host like Jared was. So I think I'll probably have to stay. Yeah, I'll pick one or the other.
It's hard to match Jared's charisma. Hey.
The official nominees for the Gold Logie in 2023 are Hamish Blake for Lego Masters, Julia Morris for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Lee Sales for the 7:30 Report, Mark Cole-Smith for Mystery Road, Shawn McCullough for Mad as Hell, Sonia Kruger for The Voice, and then this one, I think, would have to be the favourite, is the great Osher Gunsberg for The Bachelors Australia and The Masked Singer Australia.
In another life, I would have other words to describe those group of seven, but in my current role, it's a Cox Plate field.
Hey, Pang, just quickly before we go, Thursday night we had a magnificent appearance down at the Wynyard Cats Football Club in northwest Tasmania. One of our great appearances, Samuel. 180 people there, strong. Stayed there, held the bar up till about midnight. How'd you enjoy it?
It was the worst night of my life. No, I loved it. I had a great time, and I did like the idea that as I sat there with you and Chris Johnson and some of the locals at about 1 a.m. in the Wynyard Football Club room, exchange rooms, drinking a rum and coke, that I just had a realisation that 2 days later I'd be announced as the host of the Logies. I liked that was my last appearance before being named, was down there with you, with those hillbillies down there. Oh, mate, I felt great. It was wonderful.
Very understated. And you'd be glad to know, Sam, that Chris and myself went down a little bit earlier in the evening to give a bit of a pump-up chat to the Wynyard Senior Football Club. Obviously, it was an inspiring speech, so inspiring that they went down by 15 points on Saturday.
15 goals would have been better. The way you had them up 2 days before the game, I thought that wasn't the best strategy.
No.
But, mate, 15 points, that's... Geez.
They were playing the bottom side.
Hey, we can't wait. We love you. Congratulations, brother.
Righto, mate.
Hey, thank you very much, boys. I appreciate it. And no Campbell Brownie?
Nah, he's getting drunk at the Ashes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life he's got.
I'll be getting drunk at the Logies.
Hey, before we let you go, just final advice for Brody. I guess from a career perspective, do you have anything you want to say to Brody
mate.
Pummer?
Get out now. You're very lucky to have. How many years have you been working, in radio, bro?
I'd be about 7 now, I think.
I think you'll be working construction in about 2 weeks.
See you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
man.
All right then.
That night's going to be wild.
Beautiful.
I'm going to be there, and all the after parties are blended into one, John.
It's going to be unbelievable. You'll have to, you'll have to have some stories from there, Dino.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
meet a few of the locals.
No, but
few
you know what I'm
local
saying?
talent.
Normally all the after
Normally
parties...
they're separated.
And you won't get to them. You won't get to them all. But we're all in one room, John.
That might be the end of you. You may
Shit.
find the love of your life, and we never see
yes.
you again.
Ads. Back in a second.
This is Brownies Podcast.
Welcome back to Brownies Podcast. It's been a big one. Dog is in England getting smashed. He's probably got a Pims in his hand right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what's going to be even bigger, though. Bigger than the Ashes,
Yeah.
bigger than the Logies,
Yeah.
is Nathan Buckley making an appearance for the Nilma Darnham Football... Let's start again. Nilma Darnham Football Club, just outside of Warragul.
Yeah.
He's the last of the Carlton draft players. Tell you what, they've been on fire this year, Dino. 5 players, 4 wins, and we're going up on a bus to see him on July 23. It's a Sunday afternoon, a standalone fixture, and we'll be on fire, Dino. Have we got the bus full yet?
The bus is quickly filling up, and to get on it, you need to leave us a voicemail expressing your desires to be on the bus. The great Edward Johansson.
Boys, Ed here, avid listener of the pod. You're going to get me on that bus because I'm from Warrnambool, just like Browny, and I confirm I have run on my face. Cheers, boys.
He runs on his face, John.
Runs on his face.
Compelling,
Okay.
compelling
That's
answer.
For
okay.
me, I think that he gets on the bus solely for the pacing in his... I think it was very impactful.
He's got a serial killer vibe.
Yeah, he
Boys,
Boys.
Ed here.
I'm going to kill you, boys.
It's a real Warrnambool pacing, isn't it?
Speaking of Warrnambool, your brother wants to get on the bus. Can you talk to Mothy? Because I shouldn't be organising this.
Really? Has Moth been reaching out?
He wants to come on the bus,
My
man.
goodness.
When's the last time you saw your brother?
He owes me a lot of money, so unless he pays up, he won't be on that bus.
Brad Wolf. And by the way, we need more females
Wolfie.
on the bus just for balance. We've got a nurse coming on.
I think we've got 3 women.
All right, we need more women.
Maybe get Sal on the bus. Our girl Sal who looks after us.
Are you coming on the bus, Beck?
Absolutely.
Beck will be there.
Brad Wolf.
G'day, boys. It's
What's
What
with
is
everyone
this?
with the same start? They always sound like
G'day, boys.
creeps alone in a shed somewhere. G'day, boys.
G'day, boys. It's Maso from the WhatsApp group here. Or you can call me Brad the Butcher. I reckon I should be coming on this trip with yous. I can bring some sausages. I can bring some burgers. I can bring whatever yous need. Just grab me a barbie and I can feed all the boys when we're at the footy.
Hell, man. What was that?
That's interesting, though. The idea of setting up a barbecue on the hill at the Nilmadarnham Footy
Yeah,
Club.
yeah.
Now, the canteen might be happy with it, but I think, the amount of publicity we're bringing, I think setting up a little barbecue would be a bit of fun.
That's a genuine issue, though.
Is it a
'Cause
conflict?
We don't want to dog the locals.
Yeah,
but I-
exactly.
I want Brad Snags, man.
Well, maybe you can bring some snags up and give them to the footy club and then they can sell them.
G'day, boys. It's Maso from the WhatsApp group here. Or you can call me Brad the Butcher.
Brad the Butcher sounds like a serial
Well,
killer.
I suppose he's actually probably a butcher. That's why he's got sausages and
Yes,
burgers.
I think so.
But a fun serial killer, and he's on the bus.
He's on the bus, right? How are we going? Have we got many spots left on this bus?
There's about 9 or 10 spots left now.
Right, we've got to be very selective. We need to get some more females.
Yeah.
Who are obviously big avid listeners of the podcast and big fans of AFL footy, no question about that. And Bucks, of course.
Bucks, of course.
Like the male model himself.
Bros, in your opinion, have all the key players, contributors to the WhatsApp thread, do they all have a seat, do you think? Because they're going to be really hurt if they don't.
Well, they need to get into our Instagram DMs and leave us a voice message to get on.
Do you think most of them are covered, or you don't know?
There's a good couple, and there's some of the big names. Your Sharis, your Bin Dogs. They've made it. Mix, that type of stuff. Your Ricks. If you want to get on the bus, slide into our Instagram DMs and leave us a video or voice message.
Running out of time. It's going to be an absolute doozy.
That's right, John. This Carlton draft thing's a whole bunch of fun. Bernard Vince was the latest Carlton draft player to go play out Bush. Let's call him. Where is he, Broads?
Yeah, I don't know. Where he is.
Bernard!
Hello.
Bernard?
G'day. How are we?
It's Brownie's podcast, you handsome son of a bitch.
How are you, mate?
And he's back with a familiar crew. He might be a little bit dusty celebrating his weekend. So obviously bounced last night, but the big highlight of the weekend for Bernardo was on Saturday afternoon playing for the Maryborough Rovers. What's the league, bros?
It is the great Castlemaine District Football League.
Big. That's big.
Not one of the major comps, I wouldn't have thought. But how did the afternoon go, Bernardo?
I started off a little bit slow, probably, Brownie, but then it started to get going. I was a little bit too team-orientated early. I was passing a few off, and then I realised that it was all about me. So whenever I got the ball, anywhere that I thought I could have a shot, which is basically everywhere on the ground, I just started having pings at the goal. So a few of them went through, and a lot of them missed.
But give us a number, Bern. How many goals did you kick, you mad dog?
Yeah, I had 36 and kicked 8, which is not a bad return. Played the midfield the first half as well. So,
and did you have to direct the coach, say, mate, just slot me down forward, one out in the goal square in the second half?
Yeah, I did actually do that at half time. I was worried about blowing up. I blew up in the first half, playing through the midfield, so I said, I reckon I just need to go forward and just, give me a bit of space, get the boys up the ground. So on the whiteboard at half time, I kid you not, he had B, Vince, and everyone else was above the wing. I said, maybe not that much space. I was talking space. Yeah, Bernie's paddock, get out.
You kicked 8 goals. How many behinds?
Unfortunately, I think the number of behinds was 9.
Oh no!
Could have been a big day. Shit.
So what was the total? What was the total game score in the end?
I think we won. So we were playing the bottom side, and we were second to bottom. So we won. The score was 224 to 24. I think we won by 200.
Oh, Bern, that's a dream.
The team just below you. What about your some of your opponents? How many opponents did you go through in the second half, mate?
All 18 that were on the ground. They all had a crack, but they just couldn't find the right matchup. I was just too big, too strong, too quick.
Well, it did look like you were playing on a couple of taxi drivers, admittedly. A couple of rough heads.
Were you playing thinking, this is easy, I'm going back?
Yeah, I was thinking, you're very lucky that the mid-season draft's already happened because my name is on the front page now.
Isn't the point of this whole initiative that you go to clubs that are battling, not to a club that wins by 200 points?
Well, they're second last.
Well, yeah, they are. That's the biggest win in 12 years that this footy club's had. So, you do the maths and work out who's come into the club in that time, and, well, it's yours truly.
You do the maths and realise that that's the Bernie difference.
17 shots on goal. Can you imagine if I kicked 15 or something? Bloody hell, a real day out.
It's been an unbelievable effort this year from the draftees, Bern, because I was a bit disappointed as a commissioner. I was disappointed last year. I had 8 draftees. 7 losses and only 1 win, which was Daisy Thomas, who's been a fair paddy too. He did well for the Neil Tigers.
Yeah.
But this year, 5 out of the 6 boys have played so far, and 4 have had victories.
Yeah, and some big individual performances. When I saw some of the output, especially Dave Mundy and Joey Kennedy, they only finished last year, so they're fit as... They look like Mallee Bulls running around. I'm thinking, geez, I've been 5 years out of the system, so... first game in 4 years it was for me, and I saw some of their output, their numbers. I think Monday kicked 6, and I'm thinking, geez, I just got to make sure I get a kick. Just got to beat Kane Corns because he had 6 touches apparently and didn't want to go near a contest. So I thought I should be able to cover that, and we'll see what happens from there. But the third quarter was probably the quarter, Brownie, the premiership quarter.
Yes.
Kicked 5 in the third.
Yes. Nice.
That's when the paddock started to really open up.
Bern, were all of these shots on goal, or were any of them in play?
Early on, as I said, started through the middle, so I was trying to bring my teammates into the game a bit and sharing it off, and then I thought, you know what, they're not going to remember this. They're going to remember what I do, not what the team does. So then I started burning a few, and they burnt me a couple of times early, so I thought, no, I'm going to burn them now. I thought every time I get it, if I'm within 70, just have a shot.
That's right. No one remembers goal assist, Burn. Don't you worry about that.
No.
And it's a mighty performance because, as you say, you haven't played for 4 years, and admittedly, looking at the vision, you've trained off slightly. But, mate, the way, like all the boys, I'm so proud of all the boys except for Corn, the volcano. Like, Corn was 6 disposals and a loss. They got pumped by about 200 points.
The word dog shit was getting thrown around, wasn't it?
That's a nice way to put it.
Burn, straight after the game, describe the rooms. How long until between the final siren and a can?
I got handed a can as the siren went. I don't know how they were out in the ground so quickly, but siren went, the can. I had cans, too many. I only got 2 hands. But, geez, they went down pretty quick after that. It was just a great day for not just the club, the town. I got there in the end of the under-17s, and honestly, there was no car parks, cars outside the ground.
Love that.
People everywhere. So it was bloody exciting for the club. They had a big past players day for Maryborough because they're merging next year. So with Royal Park, so they had a big past players day. It's one of the last games they will actually play on that oval. So a bit of an emotional day for the club, and a lot of people there, heaps of people. And I reckon I had a beer with every one of them.
Oh, I love that. And how was the song, Burn? What was the theme song? What's the theme of the song with an A? Is it with an AFL? Is it an AFL Club
song?
It
is. It's the Carlton theme song. So Carlton theme song, but there it is. But it's black. They're black and white. This is the bit confusing bit. So they're black and white, right? So you think Magpies, but they're the Rovers, and they've got the Navy Blues song. They've got the Carlton song. So it's a bit confusing. But this is how you know a team hasn't been winning that often, because I thought they had the words up on the board for me, but every player was looking at the words to sing the song, and you know you're in trouble when you. I go, if that's for me, can you straighten up? I can't quite see it. They go, no, everyone needs it.
Oh, man. Hey, so just go, we are the black and white. Does it go like that?
Yeah, it's a bit. It's not as simple as you think like that. There's a few words mixed up, so I thought it was going to be like that. So just we are the black, we are the Rovers. But it was a few words changed, but it was to the Blues song.
And it would have been hard work because, Burn, you would have had about 8 cans by that stage.
Absolutely.
I was sounding like Stephen Kernahan. Stand by your
Hey, Burn, we love you. And we missed your handsome face. And we'll see you soon.
I miss you guys too. Love the podcast. Good luck with it all.
See you, brother.
Thanks, Ben.
Amazing. All right, we're out. Is it another buy round, or are we done with them this round?
One more buy round.
One more buy round.
All the best. Survive it, Dino.
Degenerates, we love you.